packet of chips for a snack, a plastic bag to carry groceries, a packet of milk, some fruit peels left over from our morning breakfast. We produce waste every single hour of every day. Each year, India generates 68.8 million tons of municipal solid waste. Last year alone, 6.7 million tons of recyclable garbage that could have been used and reused as raw materials, went to waste in landfill. So is there a way of reducing the amount of waste that ends up in landfills? Can we repurpose all this waste in a more progressive way? Over the next half hour, we will meet innovators who are working towards a world with zero waste. How close are they to turning this negative byproduct into something additive? How close are they to Shunya?
On an average, if you look at 15 major cities in this country, we will realize that more than 200,000 tons of waste is generated every day, and that ends up in the landfills or on the roadsides. So it's very important to manage the waste.
Some thought-provoking information there, but it's not all negative. One company is striving to achieve the balance of Shunya by proving that not all waste has to go to waste. In fact, all it takes to rewrite the rules is a little innovation and the odd spark of genius. Join us as we learn how plastic can fuel the imagination.
If the waste is properly managed and scientifically managed, and we see that 100% of the waste is converted to value, then definitely we can reach a situation where we can be 100% sure that we reach a zero waste scenario, and this can happen very quickly.
Mumbai-based Sustainable Technologies and Environmental Projects, or STEPS, has the technology to convert this waste into wealth.
Waste management in India has always been a problem. India even today do not have a proper waste management setup. So we are there actually trying to act as a catalyst to create a system that is user friendly and beneficial and also economically more viable, so that people will get more interested in waste management.
STEPS Director T. Raghavendra Rao, who has more than 25 years of experience in oil refining industry, developed a Polycrack process, a technology that converts plastic into a mix of liquid fuel, gas and carbon. This is a process that takes place in a specially designed reactor.
What we do is, now this is a system actually which starts heating the entire reactor. Once we switch on the reactor here, the reactor gets started getting hot, and inside this reactor we have the different kinds of plastics that we have filled into this reactor. These plastics will start getting converted into plastic vapors.
The plastic vapors pass through a catalytic converter and disintegrate into hydrocarbon molecules, which then form into hydrocarbon fuels.
The hydrocarbon fuel structure what we are looking at is basically a middle distillate structure, which is very similar to gasoline, kerosene and diesel kind of a structure. So the catalytic converter actually converts these plastic vapors into the hydrocarbon vapors.
Once the hydrocarbon vapor passes through the catalytic converter, they are converted into liquid fuels in the condenser.
The vapors get condensed into liquid hydrocarbon. So the liquid hydrocarbon in the form of an oil comes through these, and we collect the oil from here.
One of his clients is Infosys, which has installed this processing unit in its premises in Bangalore.
We put on all our waste plastic into it, right? Polythene bags or even rubber tires. Those waste, when we put it into the machine, the output is gas. So we can use gas for cooking. We get oil. We use this oil that we get, which is comparable to light diesel oil, for our boilers and for our lawn mowers.
Apart from companies, the smaller units can also be installed by individuals.
What we have seen is that waste management has come to a level where every individual is becoming responsible. So we wanted to bring the size of these units to fit into the budgets of everybody and be able to put them in the housing societies where each individual housing society will be able to do their own waste management using the small systems.
Helping STEPS spread its footprint across the country is Bangalore-based Ampolt Electronics that markets STEPS technology so that individuals and companies can dispose of waste easily.
This waste processing is very challenging for the governments, and then they actually fill this in a huge landfill, and the smell and nearby villages will get affected and all those things. But here we actually communicate the advantage of what STEPS is bringing in solving all these problems. So one is government, what we are targeting, and the second is the bulk waste producers like hotels, IT sectors and all.
Another big advantage of the Polycrack process is that it can recycle any type of waste. Laminated plastic, organic waste, e-waste, or any kind of waste that has zero value passes through Polycrack process to give a valuable petroleum product. This makes the Polycrack process highly cost-effective and enables STEPS to come closer to its goal of reaching a state of zero waste in India.
Basically, the products that come out of this process are oil, gas and carbon. And the oil is very similar to the light diesel oil, and this oil can be used in the generators, into offshore going vessels, in heavy earth moving equipment, and with further distillation, further improvement of quality, this can be even used in the automobiles. And as the gas is the quality of the gas is equivalent to that of an LPG, so that gas is useful as a kitchen use gas, or it can be used for industrial purpose. In our case, in the larger units, we actually use it to run our process and make it a zero waste disposal at zero energy cost.
India's urban areas churn out a staggering 55 million tons of municipal solid waste and 38 billion litres of sewage every year. The problem shows no sign of abating. As more and more migrants move to the cities and our disposable income increases, the amount of garbage we all generate is likely to increase as well. Our current tendency is to haphazardly dump this garbage and leave it to rot. This not only takes a toll on the health of residents, but also eats up a lot of otherwise useful land. Imagine, every time you took out trash, you were actually throwing away energy. Could those old veggies be a potential power source? It was that brand of out-of-the-box thinking, that quest for zero waste, that inspired a company called Green Elephant to build India's first standardized biogas plant, the Green Box in Pune.
Peel, chop, boil. Kitchens all over have one universal goal: to put delicious food on the plate. But along with producing food, kitchens produce organic waste. Lots and lots of it. Organic waste constitutes 60% of total municipal waste in India. But we still treat this potential energy source as rubbish, quite literally. But not here. In this kitchen, which serves hundreds of hungry Volkswagen employees in Pune, every organic scrap counts.
Everything what we have in biological waste, we are feeding to the green box. It's around 500 kilogram biological waste from the kitchen on daily basis. This waste will be completely used up for producing cooking gas. It means up to now we will have zero biological waste. Not only reduced our biological waste by more than 100 tons a year, we're also reducing the CO2 emissions by around 18 tons over a year.
Green Box, a portable biogas plant manufactured by Green Elephant, is a fixture on the premises of companies like Volkswagen, helping them attain goals such as zero organic waste and reducing their carbon footprint by making use of a renewable source of energy.
Greenbox produces a gas called biogas, which is actually minimum 60% methane and the rest of carbon dioxide, so it's a combustible gas. Now where you do the combustion of this gas is entirely dependent on the user's needs and requirements. In Volkswagen, the Greenbox is replacing the cooking only in one burner because the consumption is huge. We have another requirement of a Greenbox which we are supplying very shortly in like a month from now, where we are going to produce electricity.
Biogas is produced by the fermentation of organic matter in the absence of oxygen, and a conventional biogas plant requires human supervision. But this is where Greenbox differs.
The waste is put inside this tank. The moment the level of this tank comes up, the user shuts down the lid, and then the computer decides that the waste has to be crushed and fed into the digester. After he shuts the lid, there's a crusher pump located at the base of this vessel, and this crusher pump crush the waste and pump it inside the digester. The brain behind the Greenbox is this. This is a programmable logic control board, and we call it a PLC. And the entire Greenbox operations are controlled by this PLC here. We have fed the entire logic of how and what should happen in the Greenbox with this. The best thing about this is after every 6 hours it sends one SMS to our office, short message to our office, because it has a GSM connectivity here and there's a modem here. So it sends one SMS to our office that tells us what exactly happened here.
The programmable logic control helps the manufacturers customize the operations of Greenbox specific to the customer's need.
Volkswagen said that we will accept the Greenbox. We want to use the gas in 3 hours or 4 hours during the kitchen timing, but we will not allow you to store the gas. However, the Greenbox produces gas for 24 hours, and it has to, we have to apply the gas in 3 to 4 hours during the cooking time. Now, how do you do that? This was very critical, and this was done with minimum gas burning or flaring capacity that we provided, and it was 100% control on pressures and temperatures and gas flow rates, and we were successfully able to give them the entire gas in the kitchen during their cooking hours.
Greenbox provides its patrons with carbon-neutral gas, which is making the environment and their pockets green.
United Nations of Federation for Climate Control has termed it as carbon-neutral gas because the source is from nature, it goes back to the nature. Every day it replaces around 1.3 LPG cylinders in the kitchen for Volkswagen. And it's been almost a year that we have installed a Greenbox, so you can easily assume around 450 cylinders of LPG is what they have saved in the last 1 year.
So the next time you enter your kitchen, remember that the power of Shunya is an ingredient for clean energy.
From potato chips to microchips now. After witnessing the green magic of the Greenbox, it's time to introduce you to someone who is working towards zero electronic waste. That after the break.